Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. We got the news of who's in the commander panel. So, let's see what Gavin Verhey has to say about it. Before we get started, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Comments down below will feed that YouTube algorithm and help support the channel. So, links in the description for the eBay store and all that good jazz. It also helps support the channel. There's Patreon and some other stuff down there too. Don't forget, subscribe on YouTube. Be a member for as little as $1. We have giveaways and all kinds of good stuff coming up, so don't miss out. So, here we have the introduction of the Commander format panel. So, all this stuff, he talks about, when I first played Commander, one of the first things that struck me was how community focused on the format, yada, yada, yada. Yes, Gavin, we get it. So, forming the panel. Keep the community front and center is critical, so I want to assemble a group to manage Commander. They're called the Commander Format Panel, or the CFP. Why? Why with the acronyms? Anyway, it's inspired by the Pauper Format Panel. If you aren't familiar, it's a group announced at the beginning of 2022 where a bunch of individuals from around the world that work together to monitor the health of Pauper, suggest changes, so forth and so on. And to be fair, Pauper is relatively okay. People like to call it Legacy Light. It is fun. So yeah. While there are many similarities, there are also differences. For example, like Pauper, Commander already had several community groups that ran it: the Rules Committee, the Commander Advisory Group. Again, with the CRC and the CAG. Anyway, these groups had worked hard to maintain the vision and spirit of Commander. It was important to me that we continue as a through line, especially during the transition. So in creating this group, the first thing we wanted to do is offer positions to anybody who was on the Commander Rules Committee and the CAG. So they just don't want to change what's already going on, or... anyway. Yeah. Let's put the same people on the committee that made this shit show to begin with. That sounds like great business decision. Yes, Bob, thanks for coming in. Appreciate all the hard work you're doing around here. The store you've been running has lost $20,000 every month for the last year. You know what? We're going to put you in a new store because clearly the store you're in is the problem, not the fact that you're running it. Deep breathing. Moving on. So, and to be fair, some of those guys are probably not bad people. However, we got here because of situation that involved all these people. So, on top of those guys, we wanted to add some new eyes as well. Magic is a diverse global game, and the Commander is especially popular with players who play for many different reasons. Really wanted to bring in players from other places in the world who have different preferable levels of Commander play. That way, the feedback would come from more regions, full range of Commander spectrum, players who prefer extremely casual decks to CEDH, which is competitive if you don't know. It's a large group for year one of the Commander format panel. We have 17 members. You'll get to meet them all in a moment. But let's talk about a few things first, namely what the group will be doing. So, first thing we have here, the group will be working on our design teams and other teams at Wizards to help provide feedback and craft Commander experience. Ongoing group Discord, so forth and so on. So, maybe they'll be helping design some of the cards so we don't get broken shit. That's probably not going to happen. But anyway... a lot of it's going to be going on. I bring topics to them that we're talking about at Wizards, their thoughts and opinions. Longer term, I expect these people will bubble up trends they're seeing or community concerns so we can talk about them. We can only hope that happens. Get a chance to have the impact. I also want to emphasize something loudly. Commander is a fantastic format that has grown under community leadership for years. I want to maintain that. Wizards is not looking to go in and make tons of changes, and I'm not expecting the Commander format panel will want to do that either. Well, gee, that's funny. The last one they did was pretty catastrophic, change-wise. Anyway, an important goal to me is the every major Commander announcement that Wizards intends to make. It has this group eyes on it first. This article included, by the way. Reviewing it the first time the panel did together, yada yada. All around the world for each of them to know their unique perspective, running set cards through them. Though on occasion we may relay individual cards or mechanics for feedback, but it is discussing anything around the format. I also think it's a good to know that I told about on the panel as well, that I do not expect everybody will agree on everything. Well, God, I'd hope not. Getting 17 Commander players to agree on anything is a tall order, and these people are specifically chosen in part because they have diverse opinions. Ultimately, myself and other designers at Wizards are going to make the final call. Okay, so fair. I do expect that most of the time, majority opinion on the panel will win out. So that will be nice if the panel does have majority decision, but I do like the fact, I'm hoping what they're saying here is there going to be a separation of church and state, let's say, so that they stop the committee from doing something foolish or dumb. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, the committee cannot stop Wizards from doing something foolish or dumb or a plethora of other words that we won't go into on the channel in case little kids are listening. Anyway, to that end, I've also told members of the panels that they are not just welcome to express their own opinions publicly, but are encouraged to. They're here because the community members, and it's important for them to be honest. They shouldn't feel beholden to back up whatever decisions the panel of Wizards makes. That's good. I would like to actually not have people towing the line and have actual conversations. I don't want them to have to act or speak inauthentically. Stating their own opinions in public is totally fine. Disagreeing loudly is totally fine. Loudly and publicly taking issues with our decisions is totally fine. Since Wizards makes the final call, again, this is going to be ran by Wizards, it feels like, which is fine. If there's any frustration, it should be placed on us at Wizards, not on the members of the panel. Fair. Because God knows Wizards knows how to take a whole bunch of shellackins. Anyway, the first class of the Commander format panel has all signed on for a year. Commander is always changing and great. New community voices appear regularly, and while there is global reach on this panel, there are still many places I'd love to have members over time. So each year, some people rotate off and no people rotate on. I like that. I don't want people stuck on this panel forever because A, they don't want things to change, or B, they get too set in their ways, and through, we'll say, situations they're in, they devastate the format or certain cards because of personal issues. Anyway, not that that's happened before. To set expectations, it's likely a total number of people will go down from the first rotation. 17 people plus myself is a huge group. For the first year, there's plenty for us to evaluate, so I'm happy to have extra eyes and experience. Given the scope of the work on most popular format in Magic, level of discussion, for some reason, my Diablo kicked on. What the hell was that? Anyway, I'm not playing Diablo. I need to make a video and go to bed. Stop it. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, so what's next for Commander? You might remember the bracket system mentioned previously. For those of you who don't know, they're going to evaluate cards into like different brackets. And if you have one of those cards, it's going to, in your deck, it's going to basically make your deck that power level so that every deck has a power level based on cards, not based on feelings. Anyway, however, while initially I was hoping to get something out to beta test at Las Vegas this weekend, it's really important to me to involve the panel in something like this. All right, so they're not going to have it for Vegas. To clarify, one thing about it can't expect from the brackets, they're a totally optional thing to help us curate the game, much like the question of what power level is your deck, but clear. It's nice to have. Yeah, well, again, rule 0, if you've ever played Commander, if people want you to let you play cards and play a deck, even if it's overpowered, it's fine. That's why it's a casual game, for the love of God. I don't even know why we ban cards. If you sit down with a group of people, they should be like, nope, you're not playing that shit no more, because that's not fun. Anyway. After aligning on the bracket system, running some tests, I expect our focus to turn on evaluation of banned cards. Ooh, does that mean they might unban some things? Joe Lotus. Anyway, I wouldn't expect any changes before early next year at the earliest, and we'll have advance notice. I'm gonna guess March is my prediction on when they're gonna make their first changes to the banned list or structure thereof for Commander. One major thing that has stressed in conversations and feedback to me is that Commander moves slow. This isn't like a format that wants a heavy touch or constant reevaluations like competitive formats. So while there are things we want to work on as we transition and look at everything together, we're going to take our time to do it right. I think March. So with that said, here is the panel. We have Attack on Cardboard from Victoria, Australia. being on the panel, long lineage of judges, so forth and so on. We have Bandit, apparently this guy. Those outside of Europe might not have heard of Bandit before, but those in France know him well. He's a major voice for French Magic community. Okay, so we got somebody from France. Benjamin Wheeler. You might have seen Canadian powerhouse Ben Wheeler anywhere from Loading Ready Run to his podcast. So, yeah, he's a pretty good player there for a while, too, I believe. So we got Ben Wheeler. Charlotte Sable. Finland-based Charlotte is a longtime judge for Magic, knowing the game inside and out. Okay, so cool. We got somebody from Finland. I cannot pronounce this guy's name. Iquan, I guess. If you think I have worn a lot of hats in the Magic community, Daquan has been beat by far. He's every path a Magic player can walk. Store owner, competitive player, tournament organizer, to formerly working for Wizards. He's doing a lot of advertisements for him, too. I've seen him in commercials, so he probably knows the game pretty well. Deco, to select all the new members of the panel, I did a lot of research, talked to players. One of the things I knew, blah, 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 blah. When I kept asking CDH players who they would suggest, the name kept coming up for Deco. He's from Brazil, so okay. CEDH perspective. Oof. I hope he doesn't do anything weird and break the formats. But anyway, Greg Soblin, originally from Guam. Greg's been playing Magic since 4th edition and is in the U.S. Army officer. Thank you for your service, Greg. For nearly 19 years, currently stationed in Korea. Okay, interesting. We have, however the hell you pronounce this name, Intuete? I don't know. While historical formats like Standard and Modern have been the largest in Japan, Commander has been rapidly growing. Okay, so this one's from Japan. This must be a guy pushing that over there. Josh Lee Kwan, if you don't know who this guy is from Command Zone, we need to have a talk. Kristen Gregory, UK-based Kristen, has many penchants in the world of Commander, including Bulk Commander format that has adopted. Interesting. So we have someone from the UK. No one's doubled up yet from an area. CEDH has grown in the past year. Community's format always come back to Lao Stardust. I'm probably butchering the name. Sorry. The major reason why, a champion of the format from the U.S. who strives to create a welcoming play environment. Interesting. So we have maybe 2, 3 from the U.S. so far, I think. I'm not really counting, honestly. Olivia Gobert Hicks. So YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure she's American. I think I've seen her, heard of her before, something. Anyway, moving on. Rachel Weeks, this sounds familiar. Lasagna tier, that's funny. Meaning a short, janky deck built really with fun and story in mind. That's kind of funny. Has been on Command Zone and Game Nights. I think I've seen her around. Rebel Lily is a real walker between worlds, whether it's casual Commander, CEDH, or competitive Magic tournaments and formats like Standard and Modern. She's out there in New York playing. Okay, so we do have a large contingent from the U.S., basically. But, I mean, that makes sense. Most of the Magic is done in the U.S. Scott was an instrumental member of making Commander what it is today. Not only is he one of the first Wizards to discover Commander 2005 when it was being played after hours by judges and one of the early Commander Rules Committee members, he brought it back to Wizards and ultimately helped get it the first pre-constructed decks created. Okay. I just wonder how many of these guys are the ones who wanted to ban all them cards that got everybody in an uproar. Tim Willoughby. All kinds of deck building shenanigans. Fondly remember sitting with him where he lives in London. Okay, so 2 from the UK. Toby Elliott, former Commander Rules Committee for a long time, helping guide the format to where it is today. Nothing bad about that, but if he was part of the recent ban, I have questions about him being on there. But anyway, sure, he's a fine guy, but it is what it is. So there you have it, guys. There's who's on there. If you want to go check them out, you can go to the article on Wizards, or, I mean, honestly, there's their Twitter, whatever, Instagram handles. So there we have it. So we'll see where this goes moving forward. Again, I don't think we're going to see anything till March. We're too close to the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I mean, they'll get some stuff done, but with all the holidays and other stuff going on, I just don't think they're going to pump anything out. They'll probably make their final decision sometime around January, prep for it to be rolled out in February to the world and started in March. That's my opinion. Not that I would know, but we'll just guess at that. We'll say. So, till next time, be kind. I hope to see you across from the game table.